everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to another doll customization video. My name is Hannah or Lambency and today I'm going to be showing you how I made Eda the Owl Lady from the Owl House. I love the Owl House, and if you want to see the other Owl House dolls I made, click that link, or maybe it's over here, I don't know, to go to the playlist and see my other videos. Eda was a lot of fun to make. This is her look from the season 1 finale, so sorry, spoilers. I just really loved how she looks with the white streaks in her hair. She's got the gray eye now. It's just awesome. So I wanted to make her, and I really hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, anyway, let's start the video. Let's go! First, the clothes. For her bodice, I'm using the Cheap How pattern from DG Requiem on Etsy, which is actually a dress, but I cut it so it's only the top part. There's one front piece, two back pieces, and a collar. First, I sewed darts into the front bodice piece, then sewed the back pieces to the front. The collar I folded in half and sewed the sides of it. I folded it again and cut it in half so there are two collar pieces now. I sewed the collar pieces to the bodice, then hemmed the armholes with fabric glue. Then I sewed up the sides of the bodice. Now the skirt. This is another pattern from Etsy, which I will link in the description. I also cut out a longer dark red piece which will go under the red fabric. I cut the width of them so that there will be less gather. To make slight ruffles, I sewed a basting stitch along the top and pulled the thread to gather the fabric. I wrapped it around the doll body and cut the skirt to look jagged. Then I hemmed with fabric glue. Once the skirt was finished, I sewed the bodice to it and finished up the dress by sewing up the back but leaving a large enough opening to be able to pull the dress onto the doll and then adding Velcro to close it. For Eda's gem on her chest, as well as her jewelry, I used these gems I found at a craft store and colored them with Sharpie. These are her earrings and her ringstone. This is a ring from an Ever After High doll I found, and I'm just going to cut off this bird and hot glue the gem on. Sorry, bird. Before putting the ring on her, I painted the fingernails yellow. Here it is! For Eda's tights, I used a pair of old stockings. This was so hard to sew since it's so sheer. I pinned the two pieces together and sewed along both of these curves here. Then I sewed up the side of the leg over the crotch and down the other leg. Done! For her shoes, I took this pair from, I think, a Madeline Hatter doll and painted it white as a base and then went over that with red. I had to do about 4 layers of color before I got the dark red I wanted. I finished it by coating it in gloss varnish. Now for Eda's face. I'm using the palest doll I have, which is Apple White from Ever After High. I cut off the hair and pulled out any remaining hair with tweezers through the neck hole. Then I wiped the factory paint off with acetone nail polish remover. Once everything was gone, I sprayed the face with Mr. Super Clear to prep it for the watercolor pencils. If you're doing doll customization, make sure to always wear the proper mask when using a spray sealant. Let's start drawing. I used the brand Faber-Castell for the job. I started with a light beigey yellow and sketched on the face. I use a kneaded eraser when I make mistakes, and I make a lot of mistakes. It's okay, everything can be fixed. What you're seeing right now is actually my second attempt at Eda's face up. I really messed up on the first one and had to wipe it all away with acetone and start over. Once I got the initial sketch on, I sealed it with Mr. Super Clear again, and once dry, I went over it with darker colors. You basically keep repeating this and adding on layers until you get the vibrancy and richness you want. Once I was done drawing, I added dots of white acrylic paint to the eyes and painted on Eda's little fang. Finally, I used soft pastels to add rosiness to her cheeks. At this point, I realized I forgot to change Eda's ears to pointy ones. This is something I would have done before the face-up, but I can't believe I forgot Eda doesn't have human ears. Anyway, I added epoxy sculpt to the ears and shaped it so that it has a point. I gently sanded it once it dried and painted it, trying to match the skin color as best I could, which I don't think I did that great of a job, but oh well. Alright, hair time. I'm using gray and white acrylic yarn. I cut yarn strands to the length I want and then unraveled them. I then tied on each individual strand to this metal hoop. I gently brushed out the yarn hair. Since brushing yarn tends to make the hair lose its length, I'm not putting too much effort into it. I want it to remain long and have this kind of curly, disheveled look to it. I cut the yarn hair off the hoop and then glued it down onto plastic wrap to create wefts. I put a line of glue, press the hair down with a palette knife, and then add more glue on top so it's really coated. Once the glue dried, I peeled off the hair wefts and cut the excess glue off the top. I used the same tacky glue to glue the hair wefts directly onto the doll head. Eda now has 2 streaks of white in her hair, so I made sure to put those in the proper places. I gently brushed the hair out some more, then got to cutting. Finally, we need to make her Albrecht staff. I added epoxy sculpt on top of this wooden dowel, and once dry I sanded it down. I drew on where to carve Albrecht's features. I used an X-Acto knife to chip away at the clay. Once it was carved out, I added Albrecht's beak. Lastly, I sanded it and painted it white, then brown, then a lighter brown on the face and belly. Eda and Albert are complete. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!